Hi there. If we haven't met yet, my name is David Gaddy. I'm the Director of Operations for Team Select's Personal Care Services Division here in Philadelphia. This video will provide you with all of the information that you need to begin using the Cubhub mobile application to clock in and out of your scheduled shifts. I suggest bookmarking this video on your device just in case you need to come back for a refresher in the future. Before I begin the demonstration, I'd like to take a quick moment of your time to address two important things related to the rest of this video. First, your client or clients are authorized through Pennsylvania's Community Health Choices Program, which is a government program through Department of Human Services, to receive a set number of hours for personal care services each week at no cost to them. Each week, we submit to the state claims for the hours that you work. The money that we're paid for those claims is what funds your paycheck each Friday. In order for those claims to be paid, we must adhere to certain regulations and procedures set by the government. I'm specifically referencing EVV. If you don't know what that is, EVV stands for Electronic Visit Verification. In short, when the federal government passed the 21st Century Cures Act back in 2016, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services mandated that each state establish a method for all home care providers to electronically verify that the caregiver is physically present with the client and providing the necessary services in order for CMS to pay for that time. If we do not collect the proper information for EVV, we cannot bill. And clocking in and out of Cubhub correctly within 5 minutes of your scheduled start and stop times is your only way of achieving a good EVV. Your relationship managers work extremely hard each week to correct incorrect and missed clock in and outs so that it doesn't end up affecting your paycheck. The state has to continue to decrease the allowable amount of manual corrections that we're allowed to make to our claims. We were informed just last week that the amount of manual corrections will be reduced to less than half of what we are currently allowed in 2024. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is that you clock in and out of your shift at your scheduled times and document the service tasks that you perform during that shift. These rules are not set by us. They're set by the government office that pays all of us. If you have any questions about EVV, please contact your relationship manager or myself at any time, and we'd be happy to help. Finally, I want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for the incredible work that you do each day and for entering this transition with an open mind and a positive outlook. Change at any level is uncomfortable, and I'm sure we will all encounter some level of discomfort while we learn and adapt to a new way of doing things. I assure you, these feelings are temporary, and the processes you are about to learn will soon be second nature. This is new for all of us, and we will all get there together. I cannot promise perfection or that we won't hit any speed bumps along the way, but I've been assured that Cubhub and Team Select are committed to listening carefully to our feedback and will continue to release updates with changes and improvements based on our experiences. They see the value and the importance in the work that we do and are invested in our success. So I'm asking for your patience and understanding while we work through this transition. I promise you, me and your relationship managers and the entire Team Select network will be here to support you along the way. At the end of the day, we're all just doing what we can to get the best care to those who need our help. And we are so glad that you are part of our Team Select family. Now that said, let's begin. Step 1 is going to be downloading the Cubhub mobile application on your device by accessing the App Store if you have an iPhone or the Google Play Store for Android and typing in Cubhub. It should look a lot like this. All right, so once you get that app downloaded, you're gonna open it up and it's gonna look a lot like this. Your username and password to log in will be your first letter of your first name, followed by your last name, .ts, and your password for everybody is set as your last name with the first letter capitalized, followed by the last 4 digits of your social security number. So I'm gonna take a quick pause and enter my password and click sign in, and I'll be right back. Okay, so once you sign in, it's going to immediately take you to the My Visits page. On this page, you will see exactly that, your visits. It's initially going to default to just showing you today. I threw in some test visits, for example, but you can set by clicking that Today button, kind of the time frame that you want to look at. If there's a check mark next to the shift, it's completed, documented, and good to go. If there's a calendar, then it's scheduled. And if it's a pencil, then it's still like working. It's an active shift that, like if you needed to click back into a shift to clock out. But we're clocking in, so I'm going to click the one with the calendar and open that up. I'll see my client's information here, their phone number, address, and then my visit information at the bottom, and a green bar that says clock in. We'll click that. Now, regulations say that we have to document 3 points of confirming that we're taking care of the right client. Crazy, I know. But you'll have to verify these with the client if you do not already know them. And that's their name, Medicaid ID, date of birth. So we'll click all 3 of those, making sure they're right, and then click clock in. All right, once I clock in, I'm going to be taken to the initial assessment. The initial assessment, it's a checklist of 6 items that you have to click through in order to fully document the shift. I recommend kind of dividing it up into 2 groups. The first 4, which are this information you need to know about a client at the beginning of the shift, or really before you do anything. This is the info that you should already be aware of. And the last 2 are documenting the services that you did and are much more related to clocking out. Please don't accidentally just click through all 6 and then clock out right after you clock it in, because that'll cause all kinds of issues for payroll and for EEB. So first, we're going to click on mental status. All right, so in mental status, we'll see this client is forgetful. And acknowledge that by pressing save. For functional limitations, we'll see, for example, that this client has an amputation and uses a walker, which would obviously be important and cogent to the care. And we'll press save as well there. And then universal precautions. Fall precautions is very common. Oxygen, different pathogen precautions, and we see as an example fall precaution listed here. So acknowledge that and save. And you'll notice these are turning green as we go through this list. The first 4 that you'll review at the beginning of each shift is ADLs. Select ADLs, and this is a really detailed information that is going to kind of guide all of the care that you're going to be providing in a regular shift. It will go through all of the activities of daily living support that you're providing, and frequency and duration, and any specific instructions. For example, you'll see here in the bathing, like Tuesdays and Fridays, the days that that service needs to be provided. So this will be read only, that's why it's grayed out here, but you'll want to review this before each shift, and then press save. And now this is where, I want you to kind of get used to coming to a pause and just closing out of the Cubhub app and continuing your shift for the duration of your schedule. You know everything that you need to know for that client for that day, and then we'll come back to patient activities and visit details at clock out. So if I was to exit out of the Cubhub app or just come back to the My Visits page, the way when you do clock out to return to this is you'll find this shift with the pencil down here. That means it's working, it's open, and we'll select that shift. And then all you need to do is press open visit, and it'll pick you up. You'll pick up exactly where you left off. So open visit. Now for demonstrations purposes, we'll assume that I just worked my full shift and I'm ready to clock out. I'll come back and open up patient activities. And these are the service tasks that I will need to acknowledge as either performed or refused for each shift. It will always start off with a COVID-19 acknowledgement type situation. So no member of your family's had any symptoms in the past 14 days, at least for now, until the COVID regulations change. We'll still have that in there. So you'll need to mark yes. And then you'll go through the list of patient activities. You'll either have the option to mark yes or no, which means refused. So assisting with ambulation, yes, yes. But say maybe you didn't clean the bedroom that day, or they didn't want you to go in their bedroom that day, refused. Maybe there wasn't any laundry to do, refused. So these will all need a designation selected before you're able to save. Once you do that, you'll be able to save. And visit details is just like a general notes field for you to add any other pertinent information that may have occurred during that shift. So just put nothing to report. Save. And now you've made it all the way through your 6 documentation points for this shift. You're ready to clock out. So you're going to come up here to these 3 lines in the top left-hand corner and select Sign and Submit. So before you can collect your client signature, there's a fraud acknowledgement. You can open it up here. It's just basically verifying that all of the information that you submitted is true, or at least you kind of affirming that. Select that radio button there to allow you to move on to the signature page. Once you're on the signature page, the print name, that is where you need to enter the name of whoever is signing. So maybe it might not be the client. Maybe it might be the client's like power of attorney, something like that. But this is where the name would go in there. So signer's name. Now, a lot of our clients in PCS may not be able to sign. The client might be asleep, or there could be, a variety of situations where you can't collect a client signature. It's always preferred, if available, to collect a client signature, but if not, you just click that no parent PCG signature. Remember, Cubhub was originally built as a pediatric application, so that's a remnant of that there. But when you click no parent /PCG, which is primary caregiver signature, it'll open up this explain box. So it'll give you just have to put some sort of reason. Say client was asleep at time shift ended. Now, once you've submitted that will log your time, but you as the caregiver still need to sign off to finish submitting this shift. So you from the caregiver side will acknowledge that again, and then this is a user signature. You'll sign here and left in the care of or reported to. And a lot of our clients, we don't do around-the-clock care, and you might not always be reporting off to somebody, and that's okay. So you'll just leave a note here saying that client left alone. Submit visit in the bottom left corner, and it will ask you, are you ready to submit? Okay. And it'll send that data, and then you'll come into my visits page, and you'll see that visit is now a check mark. It is now submitted, and you've officially clocked out of your shift and done all the documentation that you need to do for that day. You're going to get paid on Friday, and everything's gone over without a hitch. So